Good to see you again, and welcome to another time-saving video here at Finance Skills Hub, where we learn, we connect, and we grow. My goal in this video is to show you how to use a macro to create your own shortcut so you can save yourself time with routine office tasks in Excel. As we always do, let's head into Excel and see how this is done. So this is my data. City product ID and sales. Our focus in this video is to format the numbers. So I usually prefer my numbers to one decimal place. But the shortcut I use, Control-Shift-1, always gives me 2 decimal place. So normally after executing the shortcut, I come to home and then I back out 1 decimal place. And then sometimes I bold in. Now you realize that I've put 3 steps just to achieve this. So what we can do is that we can record these 3 steps and then store it in Excel's memory so that we can use a shortcut to trigger it anytime instead of going through all the steps that I showed you earlier. And this is where we record a macro. So Control-Z to undo, and we are back where we started. So I begin by highlighting the range of numbers, and this is very important. There are 2 ways to record a macro. So under View, to your far right, you see macros here. So here you can just click Record Macros and start the process. Another way you can do it is on the Developer tab. Okay, if you don't have the Developer tab, you can right-click on any of these existing tabs. Click Customize the ribbon, and you can check the box for Developer, click OK, and that will be activated. Record macros is now to your left, so over here you can now record a macro. So I've highlighted these numbers, and you see I have use relative reference here. If I click on this, what's going to happen is that this macro will be executed using the relative position in my worksheet or my workbook. Okay, but if I don't activate this, then the macro will be executed using the exact cell references that have been selected. So know the difference. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose use relative reference. My numbers have already been selected, and I'll click record a macro. I get this dialog box. I can give my macro a name. So I call this number format, maybe 1. And then I have my shortcut key. So here I can choose any shortcut key I want, apart from those that have been used already. So you can use Control-S, but I can use Control-Shift-S. So this is going to trigger that. I have the option to store it in a personal macro workbook. What this gives you is access to this macro in any workbook you open on your computer. Okay, so you don't have to recreate this. Otherwise, you can just make it stay in this particular workbook or in a new workbook. For this purpose, we choose personal macro workbook. You can give it a description. So format to 1 decimal place with a bold, something like that, so that you or other users can have an idea what this is doing. Now, the moment I click OK, I get into the recording mode. So now I click OK. You see this square icon to the bottom left. It means whatever I do now is going to be added to the recording. So just get straight to the point. Don't click around. So what I'm going to do is first execute my Control-Shift-1, which gives me comma separated 2 decimal place. And then I come to my home and then I back this out. So all these are going to be recorded. And then I press Control-B. So I've put in my 3 activities and I'm done. So what I'm going to do is now stop the macro by clicking on this square icon to my bottom left. And my macro has been stored. Now let's test it. So here, if I have some random numbers, so run between 100 and let's say 300. And then I click this. Now I'm going to press Control-Shift-S. So Control-Shift-S now gives me all the 3 actions at a go. So the learning here is you can record a series of activities that achieve a particular outcome and then put it in a macro, store it in your personal macro workbook, and you can always have access to it. Please practice as usual and add it to your list of Excel tricks. You can receive these short videos directly on your WhatsApp. Just send add to this WhatsApp number. We'll add you to our broadcast list. Videos are sent on Mondays and Fridays. Or connect with us on our YouTube channel, Finance Skills Hub, or any of these social media handles. Thank you so much for watching.